And now we go.
Go.
Keep it going?
Yeah, no.
So we're still using it.
Intro. You didn't like my intro. Now you intro.
I don't know what to say.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do it.
All right, you got it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Get Lifted podcast. We are here with Brenton, the host. Co-host here, Josh Topel.
Dude, that was solid.
It was solid.
That was solid.
So, as we said in our last episode, we switched it up a little bit. We're doing a little bit more structured. We want to give you lists, right? We want to list off our top fives. Today, we're getting a little more serious.
Compared to the last one, a lot more serious.
Yeah, some of it, I threw a little mix in there.
Yeah.
But today's is going to be...
Because it was the things you really wanted. That's why it was serious. That you threw a little mix. So Alex would go back and watch that.
For those of you that are listening, we are also broadcasting these on YouTube at Brenton Ross Fitness channel, and then specifically Get Lifted podcast.
There's a playlist for it.
Yeah.
I made it easy for him.
It's perfect.
Sometimes you just got to make it easy for him. You do. It's ridiculous how easy you got to make that stuff.
We've restructured this so that it's a little more digestible.
Yeah. True.
So, all right. Today's topic, a little deeper. We're talking about, we're going to each give our top 5 reasons for living. All right. So, do you want to explain that a little bit just to give it context?
Yeah. Not like literal, like, why you're alive. We're talking about what are your, like, top 5 reasons to live life.
Yeah. Like,
To
why do you
really
wake up in the morning?
live.
Yeah.
To keep you going, to give you hope, to, you know what I mean? Like, to not give up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life is tough, and you need your reasons, and that's what we're going to go over.
Okay.
You wanna go
So,
first?
yeah. And again, just to recap, I'm going to do this from 5 to 1 and sort of just work my way to the most important. These are all...
So you prioritize them again?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I got to get with the program.
I mean, it's like, it just naturally
You
happens.
keep doing that'll be your thing.
That'll be my thing.
That'll be your thing.
All right.
Your
So,
niche.
and we're going to switch off.
All right.
So, my number 5 is accomplishment.
And again, we have not discussed
gone over
these.
these.
So if
These
there
are
any of
all-
them are repetitive, we apologize. But the reason why we didn't is even though now we're giving this more structure and we're coming up with what our plan and what we want to say, that's good. But we also didn't want it to feel scripted when we were already like, oh, this is mine, this is yours, what we're gonna say.
We are far
This
from
is
scripted.
still we were like complete opposite, and we're like 5% closer. We're still the opposite script. Anything goes pretty much, but we wanted to still feel like a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. Exactly. All right, go ahead.
We're probably going to have a lot of overlap, though. This is, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so number 5 is accomplishment. And the way I look at this is you need to have things that you're striving for, and you're going to be able to actually check off or feel the fire and the joy of accomplishing some task, some
So you're
goal.
not talking about like accomplishment as far as your entire life goal. You're talking about like celebrating little goals and accomplishments along the way.
Yeah. I don't think it's even
I
possible
didn't put that
to
down,
live
but
your
I
entire
like that a
life.
lot.
I don't think it's possible to live your entire life going after one thing. You have to break it down into smaller
Depends
things.
on what it is.
You can. Like,
Yeah.
there could be a larger thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't create smaller things, it's going to be...
Completely agree.
You're going to get beat down.
Yep.
And so my number 5 is based on the accomplishments that you get to sort of ride the roller coaster with.
Yeah, I really like that one. I didn't put that down, but that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because, like we were just saying a little bit ago, like life is really hard.
Yeah. I know.
It's just really hard. Everyone has different experiences, but sometimes there is some people that have an easier life than others. But at the end of the day, we're all going to be faced with something difficult. And if you have a system like that where you and I need to do better. I even told you that. I need to do better about that. Celebrating little accomplishments. It's like I wait to celebrate when we've sold 100,000 units of it. I need to celebrate when I got the product finished in the market. Yep. Like that's an accomplishment, and I don't celebrate things like that, and I need to, and that's good.
That's
a
reality check.
I like that. I thought my computer died. All right, my number 1 is, and you hear that stupid expression FOMO, fear of missing out, and I don't want to. That's not what I mean, but it's like sort of like that. So okay, this is gonna get a little personal, but I feel like it's necessary, so it puts it in context and it makes sense. So, because my brother died suddenly of a drug overdose, and because my dad died suddenly of a brain tumor, I have this intense fear of losing people, like tragically, just without knowing it's gonna happen. And so, for a long time, I didn't want to get married because I was scared to death to let myself emotionally care enough about someone who I could potentially lose tragically. And that was something that if I didn't get over that fear, I would have missed out on the whole experience of being in a marriage with someone that you love. And now, I'll admit, I'm not completely even past that, because my fear of getting married was from when my brother died. Now, since I've been married, my dad died, and that kind of brought that back. I'm scared to have kids, you know? But I also know that the same thing as getting married, if I don't get over that fear, I'm never going to have the joy of what it's like to be a father.
Yeah.
And I know I need to get over that.
I think I said it in a previous episode, but Will Smith had a little segment, or like he had a little talk where he said it the best. The best things in life are after the most scary things in life. So for your instance, the scary moment was getting married. Mm-hmm. Then after the fact, you realized, this is, whatever. The process, the act of being married is it's good, and I'm enjoying it. And now that I got past the fear, I realized that the fear of what I was, losing her is trumped by just enjoying all the moments. Mm-hmm. The same thing will happen. You're going to have a kid, and that fear is going to go, it's going to be there.
Yeah, it'll be there.
But it'll go away because you're going to be like, wow. Like, yeah. I've never had a kid, so
I know that's an extremely, like, my examples were extreme examples because that's what I've been through. But if you take that and kind of just bring it down a notch, everything in life is kind of like that when you think 100%. About it. There's a risk in everything. Whether 100%. You starting a business, huge risk. Trying to introduce yourself to someone new, huge risk. You're self-conscious. You don't know if you're going to be accepted. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when we were trying to say, what does it mean to live life? Like, living life without getting over your fears. Like, really, truly living and not letting the fears that come with life, your self-doubt, your self-consciousness, keep you from doing things that you're gonna regret you didn't do.
Yeah. That's a good one.
We're just going to keep doing that back and forth after.
It is a good one.
It is a good one.
Right. You're going to love this one, then.
Right, what you got?
Personally, I live for football.
Okay.
Flat out,
You do.
I love football.
And the thing is like, I really, really like football too, but you love football.
Literally...
And you didn't even play football, which is crazy, because most people that are like that is because it was their life for 10 years. You just love that game.
I fucking love football. I literally look forward to Sunday.
Yeah.
And when it's the off season, I literally do not know what to do with myself on Sunday. I love football. Flat out, there's a lot of people out there that could probably second me. There's a lot of people that think I'm crazy. I plan my fucking weekend around the app. And people know.
That's what I was going to say.
People know, I'm not even going to hit them off.
Yeah, I think that there's been numerous things that I've invited you to that were pretty sick that you still didn't go to because you wanted to go to freaking, what is it?
We change bars.
Cold beers and cheeseburgers to watch football instead of whatever it was that I was going to be like, dude, this is going to be a lot. This is going to be amazing. And you're like, nah.
We literally, because I go basically with my dad, my brother, sometimes the entire, we call it church. Literally, we go to church on Sundays, and that is it. So, that's my number 4.
Okay, so that's one of your reasons for living life is football.
That is one of my number. I have 5 on here. That is one of them.
You know what? I'm not gonna knock that because you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
You legitimately. I think the only thing I could think of that would get you away from going there would be if we had tickets to a Cardinals game. Because you still go watch football.
That's pretty much it.
And the whole time you're still gonna be checking all the other sports.
I guarantee it.
Okay. I didn't prioritize mine like yours, so I'm just trying to kind of do that in my head as I'm looking at them. All right, I'll go with this one. I said the impact you can make on others. I feel like if you live life in this little shell and you don't let yourself branch out and you don't... Okay, so our philosophy at Lifted Lifestyle is a lifted warrior is someone strong enough to work on their own weaknesses while lifting up others. You can't help someone else who's going through a hard time if you're not strong enough to handle that. It's like someone, let's say you had a drug addiction. If I have a drug addiction and I'm struggling with it and I can't beat it, I can't help you.
No. Well,
you can't.
In that particular case, absolutely.
You can't. That's my point.
You guys are enablers.
So what I'm saying is, but if I don't have the drug addiction and I'm strong, or even if I did before and I was able to beat it, and it's been long enough where I know you can't pull me back into it, I'm going to be a great person to be able to help you. So what I'm saying is, it goes into like what I was saying with my last one. Like if you don't allow yourself to grow and to experience life and gain and go through things, because you learn the most when you go through hard times.
100%.
And so you're gonna be what you learn by persevering. And like this sounds so simple in elementary, but if you can think back right now as you're listening to this to a time when you went through something really hard and realize it seemed like everything was ending, right? And right now you're sitting here and you're like, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I didn't kill me. I'm still here. Like it sucked, but I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like that sounds so simple, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Like life goes on.
Oh, 100%.
And-
I mean, go ahead.
So you have to get through those things, and it's kind of like, even if you don't go searching for it, life's gonna hit you. But if you are pursuing your goals, if you're living an active lifestyle, if you're intertwining yourself with other people and you're growing through that process, then you're gonna be able to make an impact, and you're gonna be able to make an impact on other people's lives. And if like the other things we're putting on our list aren't enough for you to like, I would say I don't have big goals and aspirations. I don't care about being rich. I don't care about being famous. I don't care about, a lot of the things that we're talking about, whatever. But I do care about other people. And so if me being strong and growing and going through these things is somehow going to help someone else and I find fulfillment in that, then that can be enough to get that person to keep going.
100%. It'll get you through it. It's also going to help that other person. And then that person actually does get through it, and you're going to feel a million times better because you were a part of that.
And it's so cliche. I mean, it's the holidays. People say it's better to give a gift than to get a gift.
Yeah. But
But
it's
it's
true.
the same
It's
thing.
so true.
It's the same thing. If you don't have something tangible in life that motivates you enough for yourself, you might be the type of person that what's going to motivate you is being able to help someone else, whether you're a missionary or the Red Cross or whatever that is.
There's no better feeling in my opinion. So this actually transitions into my third. But
it takes strength. Sometimes it takes money. It takes
effort.
Yeah, you have to be able to have enough within yourself to be able to give of yourself to help someone else. Because if you're already depleted and you need help, it's gonna be really hard helping someone else. So you gotta be strong. That's why I made that our motto. We want to do the best we possibly can to be the best version of ourselves possible. But if we do that and we're strong enough, then someone else who's having a hard time doing that same thing, then you're strong enough to help them do that. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, so transitions perfectly in mine because my third one was giving.
Okay.
And I think you hit on it, so I'm not going to go deep into it. But my rationale behind that is just it's plain and simple. You could go through life and nothing is going for you. Like you just don't get the tangible things that you want, or maybe you're not accomplishing a lot. But if you go through life and you know that you've given to help other people get over humps, or like Brenton just said, impact their life, giving is such a rewarding feeling. That's an amazing thing to live for. Whether you give somebody a meal, whether you give them an opportunity, like the feeling you get as a reciprocation of you giving them that thing is better than getting anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my three. It could be one. That's my three.
So you're saying the feeling of fulfillment that comes from that is what you're saying?
Yeah. So the ultimate reason there is giving, and then the selfish aspect of giving is the fulfillment of giving.
I feel like if that's gonna be considered selfish, I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's part like.
And another thing too, like even though I made the comment, like it takes you being strong. A lot of times it takes money to be able to help other people. Even if you're not rich, even if you're not a strong person, there are still ways you can give.
Oh, 100%.
Just your time.
Time is the most valuable resource.
Being kind.
Yeah.
Like to me, like I was telling you earlier, I feel like when you have your own business and you're doing things on your own, you're constantly battling. You're constantly trying to put out fires or figure out a problem. That's what you do. And when I experience somebody that's just kind,
it goes
oh my God. It's so refreshing.
Well, it makes
it's
your
insane.
life easier.
Yeah, I love that.
It makes everybody's life
something
easier.
that simple.
It's
like if
harder
I
to
call a lady and I'm like, hey, I need 1,000 of these labels made for this new product, whatever, and she's really, really nice and pleasant,
It just makes it nice.
helps. I
I know.
love that. So it's something that simple.
It's
So
the little thing.
like I said, you can give in so many different ways.
Yep.
All right. So earlier when I said missing out, that was more of like the experience of, personal life, that stuff I talked about. I said fear of not going after the life you want. So,
Wait. The reason for living is the fear of.
yes. Okay. So bear with me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta hear
So
this.
sometimes when someone, let's say they want to start a company,
Yep.
okay, and it's something they're passionate about. Let's say, it could be what, let's just use me, okay? I'm passionate about using fitness to help improve the rest of your life because of everything that comes with it. I'm not gonna, another mosquito. I got it. No, I didn't.
I could watch a whole video of this.
It was within my grasp. I almost just shut my computer on. That would be
I
bad.
mean, it would have worked.
And I know, I don't want to do that. Anyways, wow.
Just flex the entire
Okay.
time and it'll kill it. It's a true statement.
Oh my god, just let it bite me and just get it good. Okay. That was, alright, back. This is really serious and I wanted to hit on this. Shoot, I lost my train of thought.
So you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you're passionate about. Okay, so part of that I wanted to start. I had this plan to start Lifted like years ago, this is almost 4 years ago, and so there's these motivating factors like I wanna be my own boss. I wanna have my own schedule. I wanna have freedom. I wanna make a bunch of money. I wanna have influence. I wanna do these things, right? But sometimes that's just not enough. When things get hard, sometimes those things just aren't enough to keep you going. And one of the things that keeps me going when things get tough and helps me, because there's a lot of risk involved, right? There's huge risk involved. And one thing that keeps me going is I think about if, 20 years down the road, if I look myself in the mirror, knowing what I get fulfillment from, knowing what I'm passionate about right now, and I look myself in the mirror and I didn't go after it, I'm more scared of how I would feel in that moment, knowing I never went after what I really wanted to do, than the fear I have of failing.
So you're saying the reason for living is that moment.
Making sure you're not going to have a moment in your life down the road where
see.
you look in the mirror and you have regret.
I see.
That you didn't go after it. You didn't take that risk.
Yeah.
It's
good
not
one.
for everybody, but that's for me. And I think there's people out there that are listening or watching that would feel the same way.
There's a lot of people that are at the moment listening to this going, I have that moment.
Exactly.
Alright.
Exactly. And it's not too late. It is not too late. You
it's
can
never
still
too
do.
late.
Yeah, it's not. As long as no matter how old you are,
long as you're breathing.
you can still do something. And it might not end up being to the full because it takes so much time.
Yeah.
Right. It might not end up being to the full scale that it was, but at least you can hey, I identified this, and I feel terrible about it. And the only way to fix that is to do something about it. But my point is not getting to that point, right? Like at the point we're at right now, I'm 20. We're both 26. Like we have a lot of time ahead of us, God willing. And I don't want to be at a point where, because I could have lived, a mediocre, comfortable life and lived safe, but I know it never really was what I wanted to do. I would be miserable. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I couldn't live with that.
I understand what you're saying now. So yeah, I mean the fear, you want to live for the fact that you never want to be able to have a moment where you look back and fear
and
the
say,
fact that-
I let fear control me.
Yeah, a lot of people are hearing this and going, I already know what that moment is.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you, if you're contemplating on something risky, take the leap.
Obviously, do your homework. There's a way to mitigate risk, calculate. We're not going to go into all that. But at the end of the day, go after it.
Yep.
Go after whatever you think's going to bring you fulfillment.
Amen.
And don't jump from place to place. Really do soul searching. Really know this is what I want to do. And if I don't do this, and 10 years down the road, I'm like, why the hell did I not do that? That's what I'm saying. That feeling right there is enough to make sure I never have that feeling.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so my number 2, and this is really apparent based on how I talk in previous all episodes, my point of view, experiencing the things that life has to offer. And when I say that, I mainly, in subcontext, I mean traveling the world. But I think there's a lot of things that the world has to offer that I live for. I live for experiencing the things that are untapped or have not been experienced. And I know that in 2017,
That's tough.
that's tough. But the reality is for me, that's not tough because I haven't experienced a lot of things. And so for most people, it's like most people leaving the country, leaving the United States
Big deal.
or some other country, that's a humongous deal. And I think that the benefits that come out of anything where you're jumping out of your comfort zone and experiencing other cultures or things that were manufactured or invented that are just totally out of the norm of what you are accustomed to can totally change your perspective, give you fulfillment, and I just think as a whole, experiencing the things that you dream of, there's no reason why you can't make that possible. Whether you do it on a budget or whether you do it on a luxury, all paid for, inclusive experience. You got to go out there. You got to see the world. You got to hear other points of view. You got to see the wonders of the world. You got to start answering some of the questions that everybody asks. And it will give you a lot of self-fulfillment to be able to experience many different points of view on life. Guys.
Hell yeah! You're done. Take a seat.
That was a mosquito. For all of you that are listening, that was the best part of Brent's
Somebody
day.
just walked in here, just knocked him out.
Experience life.
I like that you said that because even though it's similar to what I was saying about experiences, you got more specific of what that means to you because you're so big on the travel that you've done, that you want to do, and what that's meant to you in your life. And you've talked, I mean, that's not something you just came up with for this. Like, you've talked about that basically since I've known you.
Yeah.
And so I know that that's something that's really important to you. And so everyone's going to have something different like that for them, whether it's travel or whatever it is. So that's good. I like that. My number 4 was leaving a legacy.
Yep, that's big for you.
So there's multiple facets to that. So my brother,
Let's keep it to 10 minutes.
I know. My brother, he struggled with drugs for a really long time.
Yeah.
He ran with people that you wouldn't want to run with. He got himself in situations you wouldn't want to be in. And because of that, he didn't really have much interaction with other people outside of that. Okay? Because they're scary.
That was the life he knew.
Right. And so when he passed away, I feel like I'm one of the very few people that really even think about it.
That thinks about
Him being gone.
within your family or just in
general.
life?
In general.
Okay.
And that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, so you're talking about your acknowledgement of your existence and what you've done for the world.
Yeah. So I experienced what that's like firsthand, seeing that with my brother. Now my dad, on the other hand,
Flip side.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
He touched so many lives and, changed so many lives.
Yeah.
Not just through the money he gave to different charities and all the stuff he did, but the time. That was the most important part. When you're successful, your time is way more valuable than money.
Oh.
And-
Anybody. Honestly, anybody.
And no matter
Regardless.
what point, because he had his highs and his lows, no matter what he was doing, if he was doing really, really well or he was going through a hard time, if someone else needed help, it wasn't like, okay, here's money. It was, let's sit down and let's talk about this. How can I help? Even if he didn't have money to give them, he would sit down and he would talk with them. He would give them his time. So my dad left an amazing legacy, okay? And so I've seen both. And I know which one I want to do, right? And so, but I even want to take it a step further, right? And that's not saying that my dad didn't do whatever, a good enough job. It's just with everything that I want to do and the amount of people I want to reach and help, like, I want people, and it might sound selfish, but I don't think it's selfish that when you die, for people to remember you as, that guy helped a lot of people. That guy lived life. That guy did so many things. That guy, I want to look at how he lived his life and take things from that and how I can apply them to my life. Like that
You wanna
for
be a
me,
role-
that's a huge reason to live
A
life.
role model with a legacy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even I have so many fallacies and my own weaknesses and stuff like that. I don't know, like, hey, let's copy him. But I mean, like, at the end of my life, if I can look back and know I went after it and I was able to accomplish these things and reach these certain people and do these things that someone else that either has been interacted with me or watched me through my social media or whatever somehow crossed paths with me or my message in some way, that when I'm gone, that's remembered, and that means a lot to me. So that's a reason for me to push.
Yeah, I that is 100% authentic to you.
Yeah.
Because you talk about that every day.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how you built this business.
Yeah.
So I can second that, and I see that 100%.
And and I'm not gonna get deep into that because I know I'm not trying to go long, but you're exactly right in how you said that. The way we're building this business is, I could go out and I could just sign 50 influencers right now, right? And we could do way more volume. We could do a lot of things like that. But I'm so focused on the message that we're going to put out and the type of experience that a customer or someone who crosses paths with our company gets, that I'm doing it at a lot slower, more
organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna sign some athletes, and I'm not gonna get into that right now. I'll talk about it later. But the way we're gonna do it is gonna be in a way that makes sure they fit exactly what we stand for. And when someone meets them, it's an extension of our brand.
Absolutely.
And they get that same message. So go ahead.
Good brand you're building. All right, my number one is big. All right, so my number one reason for living is relationships. Just flat out. Friendships, loving relationship, your relationship with your family, cultivating just a valuable and a two-way relationship where you can basically break down everything that we just talked about. I want to get that out of strong relationships, that I have a tight-knit or at least a core of people that reciprocate it just as well. Mm-hmm. When you look at relationships across friends and a family, your immediate family and maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend or your significant other, and then your best friends, they sort of fit in that immediate circle. And then you have different levels beyond that because that's all you can give. Mm-hmm. And I just think that immediate circle and the give and take of those relationships is so important. And I mean, at the end of the day, right, like accomplishment, football, giving, like experiencing, none of that is actually something
that matters if you're alone.
Yeah, like in my opinion, I don't want to do any of that shit if I am Legend and I'm stuck on this planet by myself with my dog.
Yeah.
Although I'd rather have a dog if it was
to be alone completely. Yeah.
I mean, you want to experience things with people, and you want people that mean something and that you enjoy experiencing and whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's my number one, flat out.
Like
there's
that.
nothing that trumps that.
No, that's very good. That's very true. Because even like something as big as I was thinking about a legacy, like if you didn't experience it with other people along the way, you can't create a legacy.
Yeah.
And for one, you are not going to get any fulfillment along the way.
Nope.
Like you might invent something, but that like helps people's lives. That's cool. Like whatever,
That's
like
awesome.
Edison invented the light bulb. Sick. And that helped technology. But I look at that differently than that guy impacted people's lives in a way that actually, not just made things more convenient and lit things up, but actually impacted lives on what's in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So number 5, or I guess
number 1. Either way.
Number 1. Yeah, this actually I did prioritize this one, and probably make fun of me for how this hit me. This actually hit me, and this is before we even talked about doing this. This hit me last week. I was watching the movie Southpaw.
Yeah, good movie.
And like even if you're watching this and you think that's ridiculous because that is a very intense movie or whatever, but everybody, like, certain things resonate with different people.
Yeah,
right?
This is opinion based.
I mean, yeah, it's a boxing movie, but it still resonated with me. It is what it is. Deal with it. The part where his wife dies, dude, that just like
spoiler,
or whatever. That movie's been out for years and it's been on Netflix. If it's on Netflix, you've probably seen it by now. Even though I've experienced loss, and I even talked about that, like I have that fear of losing people. Some reason when I saw that part, it just like hit me again, and I just thought to myself, like, we get so caught up in the routine of our life,
yeah,
that we just expect that, okay, I'm gonna go to my job today. I'm gonna put in my 8 hours, my 40 hours this week, and I'm gonna look forward to Saturday, right? And that's the majority of your life, right? And so my number 5 is you're gonna die. My reason for living is you're going to die, and you have no idea when that's going to be. You're not guaranteed to be 80. Even though with all the advancements, technology, and health, like our life expectancy is lengthening, you don't know. My brother died when he was 38. My dad died when he was 67. You know, like you don't know. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, even though I've already experienced this was just another wake up call for me. It was like late at night, because so I usually get really early and I work. I come in here first thing, I usually work till about this time. And then my thing is I still have to do my program, my different emails and stuff, and I usually get done around 10 o'clock at night. For me, 10 o'clock to like 11, midnight, I like to watch a movie or something that just
decompress.
Lets me escape a little bit.
Oh yeah, same. I'm the same.
Yeah, so I do that. And so Taylor's in our room asleep, and I'm in the living room watching that. And it just like hit me, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't even think about that, like, with her. You know? It's like, okay, yeah, you're going to go to work. Whatever, like, leave me alone, let me do my work, I'll see you later. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but that's life.
Well, yeah, you just go about your day.
Yeah, we all get caught up in this, whether it was created by society or wherever you want to be a conspiracy theorist or whatever, the system that we're in now. It's so easy to get caught up in this mentality that, like, it goes on, it's this reoccurring thing, it's the same thing, it's going to happen again tomorrow, and we're just going to look forward to something that's 5 days away or a year away or whatever. And it made me, as cheesy as it sounds, like, it made me want to live every moment to the absolute fullest I possibly could. And it made me think, like, okay, because I don't even know how much time you're going to have with the people you care, like what you just talked about. Like, that's a huge one for me too. And I'm surprised I put that on my list, because that's huge for me too. Like, that's probably my number 1 or number 2.
We had to change it up, even though we had no idea what we had.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that is my number 1 or number 2 too. And because these kind of go together, is the experience that you have and the people you're interacting. I don't like being alone.
I know you.
I don't like being alone. I like being around people that I care about, but I am very picky about who I'm about. Yeah. Like, you're better about that than me. It's very rare that you meet someone you don't get along with.
I also love being alone.
You do?
Oh, I love being alone. Yeah, I just throw, like,
I'm
productive.
I get my times where I need some alone time.
I love being
But for the most part, I like being around people, interacting with people.
I mean, I like both, but it's harder to be alone.
But what I'm saying is, like, you don't even know how much time you're going to have with those people you're talking about that you care about.
Yeah.
Like, we both just went through that. We lost our parents in the same year. That's crazy. We never saw that. I mean, your mom was sick for a long time, but still, you didn't know when it was going to be.
Didn't come into, like, reality.
Right. So you just don't know. And so don't take, like, life, it's not, everyone says don't take life for granted, but seriously, don't. Like, look at what your average day looks like. And if you really look for some of us might already be doing it, but it's a very small percentage. But the most of us, look at what our average day looks like, and look how much of our actual day that we spend that is just completely wasted on the most pointless shit. And whatever, a social media influencer, and how much time, like, you hate this, flipping through Instagram or whatever, just looking at bullshit, you know?
It's true. I mean, it's true.
And I'm all about technology too, but, like, put it down and experience life with the people around that you care about, like you said.
I cannot agree with you more.
Like, that's such a big thing. You're just not guaranteed tomorrow. You're gonna die.
So I guess the flip side of that, not the flip side, but the reality of that is you had that moment.
Yeah.
But 36 hours has passed or 24 hours has passed.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee you that has not been the forefront of your mind.
No. Okay. I will say I've thought back on it a couple times.
Okay, so it's fresh.
Mm-hmm. Because I know I need to work on it. And I never thought I would do this. I started meditating. I have this app, the Simple Habit. I told you about that. I actually do that.
I need to start that.
And that's helping me with that. Taylor was like, I know you won't do this because just, you know how I am. She's like, but you should try this. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll try it.
So I will speak from my personal experience. I think that kind of stuff helps you deal with all the shit that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Because it's much more a part of your everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, at least at the moment, I am really good at forgetting what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, last night I just had a friggin' random ass breakdown, just out of nowhere. And it's because I got to a point in my mind where my mind was blank about whatever was in front of me, and the thought of the fact that my mom is no longer around just entered and just swarmed my brain.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that's been my tactic. Is like I've been totally treating my entire life as a distraction for what's really going on, and that's been my method. And I mean, it's sort of been working.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day,
It's
you're
not
100%.
a long-term solution.
It's not a long-term solution,
Yeah.
and you're 100% right. Like, it needs to be addressed in a like wholesome approach where it is an accepted part of your life moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really good. That was really
It's just
good.
like, unless whatever it is, like, okay, if you have a desire to do something or experience something, unless it's gonna drastically, like, you're paying for it or be penalized for the rest of your life, you know, do it now. Do it now.
Yeah.
Why not start working on it now? Whatever that is. If you wanted to go on that trip like you were talking about, start planning it.
Yep.
Start saving for it.
Yep.
Don't just say, hey, we'll do that when the kids are out of the house. Get a babysitter for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, figure it out.
Yeah, I
if you're
agree.
looking at starting that business, figure it out. Get a prototype made. Get a sample. Whatever that is. You wanted to get in shape. Stop saying, I'm going to get in shape. Next, that person never gets in shape. Never.
Hey,
Every time.
first person that can speak to that.
Listen, every time someone emails me and asks me questions about my advice on training or whatever, and I ask them, when are you going to do this? If they say,
Next week.
I'm going to do this next week, I'm done. I don't take them seriously.
It's true.
If you're not going to take, I'm busy, and if you're not going to take yourself seriously enough to say, I'm going to start this right now, and if you're going to give me this information, I'm going to use it right now, then I don't have time for that.
That's totally 100%.
Take yourself
true.
seriously. Take life seriously. Live it to the fullest, and start experiencing it right now.
That's a perfect way to end it.
I like
That
that.
was a good one.
Goodbye.
Adios.